100 days of the war that's been raging on in Ukraine, and Russia hasn't backed off. In our next report, we're getting you a sense of what the situation currently is in Ukraine.
The fire in Eastern Europe has been burning out for the last 100 days. The war that started on February 24th is nowhere near its end.
I've taken the decision to conduct a special military operation. Its purpose is to protect people who have been subject to abuse and genocide by the Kiev regime for 8 years. And to do this, we will strive to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine.
The special ops Russian President Vladimir Putin expected to end in a few days could go on for many more days, if not months. Ukraine has resisted, and how? The European continent has found a new hero in President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, who refused to flee his country when faced with Russian invasion.
Всім добрий вечір. Лідер фракції тут, голова Офісу президента тут, прем'єр-міністр Шмигаль тут, Подоляк тут, президент тут. Всі ми тут, наші військові тут, громадяни суспільства тут, всі ми тут. Захищаємо нашу незалежність, нашу державу. І так буде й далі. Слава нашим захисникам, слава нашим захисницям. Слава Україні!
Russia advanced quickly through eastern Ukraine, but faced the Ukrainian might as its forces neared Kyiv. While it rained death and destruction, stiff fight back forced the Russian forces to make a strategic retreat from the gates of the capital city. The Russian pullback from Kyiv revealed the real horrors of the war. The killings of civilians in Bucha, a suburb of Kyiv, shocked humanity. India Today's reporters who were in Bucha revealed the real picture to the entire world.
And armored personal carriers show and indicate the kind of battles that have taken place in this area. Not one, not two, but multiple burnt tanks and APCs in this area.
Many nations have since then launched investigations into alleged war crimes in Bucha. Having pulled back from Kyiv, Russia shifted focus to Donbas region in its second phase of war. Today, Russia controls key Ukrainian cities in eastern Ukraine, including Mariupol and Kherson. Heavy fighting has ensued in Mykolaiv and Kharkiv. While Russia has made significant war gains, they have come at a huge economic cost. The country is reeling under sanctions imposed by the West.
I spent a lot of time in Ukraine when I was a senator and vice president. I've spoken to the Rada in the days when they, in fact, didn't have what you'd call a democracy, and was there in the Maidan when the former leader had to take off and head into Russia. And so, you know, with the Ukrainian people have a lot of backbone. They have a lot of guts, and I'm sure you're observing it.
Russia so far has put up a brave front. Kremlin has time and again warned the world of severe consequences, even dangling the nuclear threat at times. The effect of the war is being felt across the globe. Inflation is surging, posing the single biggest challenge to the whole world. For a world that's emerging out of a pandemic, the Ukraine war has come as a double blow. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's take this across to Gaurav Sawant, who reported extensively on the Ukraine war, covering the entire country during the conflict as well. Gaurav, The question everyone's asking as we talk about 100 days of this war raging on is, where is this headed? And will there ever be an end to the war, and what will that look like?
An end is not in sight anytime soon, given the kind of hostilities we've seen, given the kind of hardline that both Ukraine and Russia have adopted. Are there back channels on? There are indications that Turkey is trying to get both Ukraine and Russia to be on the talks table. There are some indications that if some restrictions are lifted from Russia, then the grain convoys and the grain ships could leave the Ukrainian port, and that could help both Europe and Africa. So there is a ray of hope, point one. Point two, a solution will need to be found as far as Ukraine is concerned as quickly as possible. A couple of months from now, these are still summer months, so Europe can hold on for some more time. But the moment winters approach, there will be a lot of pressure from countries like maybe Germany, France, Italy, certain other countries very heavily dependent on Russian energy. They may talk about reducing dependence on Russian energy, but that's not happening immediately, and they would require this energy in the months ahead, and that would give Russia more leverage. The effort is, before the onset of winters, some kind of a negotiated settlement is found. Remember, Henry Kissinger had talked about accepting what is with Russia right now to remain with Russia, or words to that effect. But President Zelenskyy completely shot that down, saying that this is in 1938, would not embolden the West and Europe emboldened Hitler in 1938. Should not do that with President Putin in 2022. That is President Zelenskyy's point of view. But what happens in the months ahead will depend on whether Europe can stay united or whether chinks will appear in the European armor sooner than later.
Okay, Gaurav, thank you for joining us with all of those details. We'll keep coming across to you for those updates and what's really expected going forward as far as this was concerned.